To David Monyae, who is an Associate Professor of Political Science and International Relations at the University of Johannesburg. He's also Director at the Center for Africa-China Studies. David, welcome to the program. Look, no continent is homogenous, but since the collapse of the Soviet Union, most European countries have moved away from the model of communism. So how is it possible that Xi Jinping is receiving such a warm welcome in Serbia and Hungary? Is it, rather than politics, about money?
I think our starting point is that as much as the world is changing and the emerging new Cold War, it is not centered on issues of communism as the center of the conflict. I think what is coming up is competition within capitalism itself, and the market-driven capitalism vis-a-vis the state-driven. And when you look at Europe, there are somehow gaps emerging, as much as they agree overall on issues on the side of United States. But there are countries that are starting to realize that the more they follow a US voice, and anti-China, anti-Russia, so one way or another, they are also at risk of undermining their own interests in relation to China when it comes to trade.
Yes, but for Serbia, China is the #1 foreign direct investor when it comes to nations. I mean, that's got to be a little bit of a dangerous thing. And you as an African specialist and Chinese specialist know this better than most. That's what people have been saying China's been doing in Africa, basically giving or lending so much money that those countries will be indebted to China for decades.
Oh, indeed. But all countries are doing the same. I think most countries have reached a stage, particularly countries in Asia, have realized that the emerging tension between the United States and China, they don't want to take sides. They want to benefit in a maximum way from the United States as well as from China. And it's danger for anyone to really take sides. And I think when you look at some of the countries, particularly Serbia as well as Hungary, they are of the view that as much as they are European and they benefit from the Union as well as their closeness to the United States, they also need to open the door to China as well. Therefore, trying to strike an independent foreign policy. I think that's exactly what is happening.
Do you think the EU is going to be concerned? He's now in Hungary, Xi Jinping, and this is the first, I believe, EU country to actually participate in China's Belt and Road Initiative. The Italians also wanted to, but then it seems someone got to the Italians and they said, oh, we believe we've made a mistake. How worried will the EU be about China's growing influence in non-EU countries, or Hungary, which is an EU country?
I think the worry is far beyond Brussels. I think Washington in particular. And we also have to say this is happening in a context in which United States and Europe itself are blaming China on the question of overcapacity on new technologies, particularly the EVs. And let us not forget, other than Hungary striking a balanced foreign policy, understanding on Ukraine and Russia in particular, as well as reaching out to China, practically China has established a plant within Hungary on manufacturing and making these EVs that will have an easy access into Europe. And therefore, I think this is heightened tension within Europe itself, that they are not going to speak with one voice. Even when it comes to France, when it comes to Germany, all of them have interest within China, given the large middle class within China.
David, it's been really, really interesting to hear your thoughts on this. And this story will continue for a long, long time, we know. David Monyae, thank you.